Calculus, prerequisite skills. So absolute functions is a topic which I think most of the students have not really covered in details. So I'm providing you solutions for the questions in this worksheet. Question number 4 was solve absolute x minus 1 less than x. So this inequality can be solved algebraically or graphically. So let me show you both the approaches, okay? Now let's first define our absolute function. So f of x, let me say absolute x minus 1 is equals to, it is equals to x minus 1 if x is, or x minus 1 is greater than or equal to 0. And it is equals to minus of x minus 1 if x minus 1 is less than 0, correct? We could write this as absolute x minus 1 equals to x minus 1 if x is, we'll take 1 on the other side, right? Greater than or equal to 1, as negative of x minus 1 if x is less than 1, correct? So that is how we define the absolute function. Now, whenever you're doing inequalities involving absolute functions, you have to split the function as it is. Absolute function is a piecewise function, correct? So you have to take care of each piece separately, right? So we will therefore solve this algebraically in kind of two pieces, right, as the function is. So one of the piece is when x is greater than or equal to 1. So let's say that is x is greater than or equal to 1, and the other is when x is less than 1, right? Now, in each case, equation will be different. This equation, absolute x minus 1 less than x, will be now written as x minus 1 less than x if x is greater than or equal to 1, right? That's the value. But if x is less than 1, we'll write this as negative of x minus 1, right? And therefore the question will be negative of this is less than x in case x is less than 1. So basically we have two inequalities and we need to solve these two. Now if I solve this and bring x on this side, that means left side, I get x minus 1 minus x is less than 0, and I get minus 1 is less than 0, right? So which is always true? Minus 1 is less than true. So this is always true, right? So on a number line, so let me draw a number line here. So let's say this is my number line, and let's say this is 0 on the number line, right? Since we are taking this line as kind of 1. So let me write down 1 here. So 1 here, right? So we see that from here onwards, this is always true, right? Since you know 0 is greater than minus 1, correct? So it is always true if x is greater than or equal to 1. So let's try to solve this part. So if I open this up, I get minus x plus 1 minus x is less than 0. And minus x is minus 2x. And plus 1 is less than 0. Now let me take minus 2x on the other side. Then I get 1, and 2x is greater than 1. Or I can solve this as x should be greater than half. Now, if you see, our domain here is that x should be less than 1. But the answer is, this is true only when x is greater than half. That means, from greater than half to 1, this inequality is true, correct? So that gives us another set of solutions, and that is, in this half, from 1 to half, let's say this is our half, so like small line, so I'm drawing this line here. So up to this point, right? So that is the solution set, right? Therefore, combining these two solutions, we get our solution, and that is, let me write it down here now. The solution for us now here, we'll write the answer. So therefore, combining these two, we see that if x is greater than half, right, in that case, this inequality is satisfied. So our answer is that x is greater than half. Correct? That is the solution for this inequality. Well, we could have got this solution graphically also, right? May not be that accurate, but that will give us fairly good idea of the answer, right? So now, what is x? Y equals to x is a line like this, right? Where it diagonally bisects the coordinates, correct? So that is your y equals to x line. The other line which we have here is x minus 1 absolute. So absolute x minus 1 is basically 1 unit shifted to the right. So it is parallel to this here, and on the other side it is like this, right? As you can very clearly see, now let me write down our equations. So this line is for absolute x minus 1, and this is for y equals to x, correct? Let me write y equals to this, correct? On this axis is y, and here we have x. As you can clearly see, y equals to x is greater than absolute x up to this point, correct? And this point is half. This is 1 for us. So that is the solution. And therefore, solution of this inequality is x equals to half. I hope you understand, correct? So that is how we solve absolute function inequalities. Thank you.